what I created was a deck of messages from your higher self. And that higher self is that place inside of you that's calm, clear, compassionate, curious, connected, courageous, that knows that you can be spiritually present without going into fight, flight, or freeze. And one of the ways is to look at the world through an eye of abundance. And again, that's where gratitude comes in. What can you be grateful for in this moment that would make you feel that your life was more abundant, no matter what's missing from it at this moment? And then acceptance. Again, whether it's a relationship, a diagnosis, a work situation, the political outcome, what can you accept that you don't have to rail against? That doesn't mean you can't try to change things. It just means you do it from a place of more peace and calm, a little more higher consciousness, again, where you're not in that fight, flight, or freeze reactive mode. So acceptance allows you to begin to make changes, and you can appreciate. Again, what can you appreciate about yourself? How curious can you be? How courageous can you be? How can you show up in your relationship, in the diagnosis, in your workplace, in the political structure? How can you show up and appreciate what you can do to make a difference? How your attitude will change things, how your ability to be loving and forgiving and accepting can change the dynamics immediately. And what kind of attention can you give to yourself? And this is what this is all about. How do you practice exquisite self-care? And when you're focusing on everybody else and all the details of your work or the holidays or your family, how can you pay attention to yourself so that you can protect yourself from the vicissitudes of life by actually finding things that light you up, whether it's to meditate or journal or go for a walk or be with people you love? What can you do to give yourself the attention you need and deserve? And how do you balance? How do you balance your needs with the needs of others so you don't get subsumed by the needs of others and then lose track of what you can balance in your own life right now? So begin to think about what you want and need, because that's just important, if not more so, than what everybody else wants and needs from you. And believe. Deep breath with me here. Sometimes it's very hard. I know that I faced stage 4 lymphoma at one point, stage 2 breast cancer, colon cancer, a couple other cancers. And what got me through it is I did believe it would all work out. And whether I said the Lord's Prayer or whether I just was grateful that they caught it and they had medications that could help it, the belief was what helped me get through it. So whatever you're going through right now, believe it will all work out for the best. And then you can set your GPS in the direction of the highest good rather than get stuck or mired in worry and despair. And then be calm. Deep breath here. It's so hard to be calm when we're nervous or we're excited or we're anxious or we're angry. But see what you can do. Sometimes it just takes a breath. Put your hands on your abdomen and just breathe a belly breath. Inhale all the way down and exhale and bring some calm into your situation right now. So whatever you're dealing with, a relationship, a health issue, finances, work, see how calm you can be, because when you're calm and coming from your higher self, your inner wisdom, you'll come up with responses that aren't reactive and make positive choices in the direction of your own self-care. And you do it that with understanding that change is the only constant. And when you embrace change, you'll see that it brings opportunities. And at first, it may not seem like opportunities. They may seem like challenges. They may seem like losses. But just like the caterpillar gets lost in the chrysalis before she becomes a butterfly, that's part of the change that you'll go through at various stages. And it may feel like you're in the dark when you're in that in-between stage, because even when you're grieving something and you're going through the stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, there's a void that comes when you know you've let go of one part of your life and you have to get to another. And in that interim, when change is happening, instead of being scared, be hopeful that change can bring good things. And then get some clarity. Oftentimes we react when we're triggered. We get anxious, we get angry, somebody says something, maybe your spouse says something to you, and you just knee jerk into a sarcastic response or an angry response. And if you take a breath and wait to speak until you're clear, instead of automatically reacting in a fight or flight mode, you might just talk about the fact that something they just said hurt your feelings, which is a much clearer response than to be reactive and judgmental and to fight back. And then compassion, my favorite word. Compassionate communication with yourself first and then everyone else is what's going to make the difference in your own self-care. So, what can you do to show more compassion to yourself and to other people? How can you put your needs first? How can you spend time allowing yourself to be present to your feelings and then turn in the direction of your feelings compassionately? So, if you need to cry, let yourself cry. If you need to rant because you're angry, let yourself get it out of your body, of your system. Show compassion to all parts of yourself. You don't have to put a front onto the world and always be zen. But whatever you're feeling, show compassion to yourself. And the more compassion you show to yourself, you'll be able to show that to others. And have confidence that what is supposed to happen will. And again, that's not always easy to do. And it doesn't mean you don't take action to make changes. It just allows you to come from a more positive perspective, the glass half full instead of the glass half empty, and then move in the direction of what you want to see happen and have the courage and confidence to know that you can make those changes one step at a time. And then connection. Again, another big word. A quality of self where you stay connected to all parts of yourself, the parts that are hurt and sad and scared, the parts that manage, the parts that get extreme. You stay connected compassionately to your own parts from your heart, and then you share your heart with the hearts of others. And in that connection, as you are being the channel of love and the beacon of light that you are, you align that light and connect those lights with other people. And then together, synergistically, we can transform the world. So connect to your own light, connect to your heart, and then connect to the light and heart of others. Do it with courage. You can deal with whatever comes to you. And whether that's an illness, a breakup, a divorce, a loss, a death, whether it's something that's happening in the world at large, have courage that you can deal with it. And you can. It doesn't mean you're not going to be anxious or sad or scared. But at your core, your higher self is calm, clear, compassionate, courageous, connected, curious, creative, confident. That's who you are. So tap into your courage whenever you need it. And be creative. Find a unique solution to any problem. When I was at the Chopra Center, we talked about higher consciousness. We talked that you can't solve a problem on the same level of consciousness that created it. So the more you meditate, the more you tap into your higher self and deeper knowing, the more creative you can be in bringing that creativity back to a solution. And when you're not, again, fighting, fleeing, or fight, flight, or freezing, when you're not doing any of that, you can take a moment, take a breath, and think of a creative solution for how you can meet someone in the middle, for how you can practice more acceptance, for how you can change something one step at a time. So be creative when you're doing that, and be curious instead of judgmental. And that's a big one, because most of us want to judge. Our egos want to judge. What should it, could it be? How could other people be? But if we're curious, if we meet our lives with more curiosity, it allows for an openness. It allows for more connection and compassion and communication. And we do that by being curious instead of judgmental. Try it. You'll see it'll work. But right now, I want to invite you to go to lindakroll.com because I want you to get my care kit. It's a relationship assessment to help you look at your relationship. It also talks about how to compassionately communicate, but it gives you the guided meditation that I do with all my clients to help them get to their best self. to help them connect to that self inside of them that is calm, clear, compassionate, courageous, curious, connected, confident, deep breath, and grateful. You to practice self-care, whether it's before the holidays, before an occasion, before a family dinner, before you go to work tomorrow. Do what you can to take care of yourself first and know that you deserve it, you're worth it, you're a channel of love and a beacon of light. And I'm sending you a lot of love, and thank you for hanging in here with me. I'll talk with you soon. Bye for now.